Hello, friends. I am sitting here on the last day of July. I cannot believe I'm saying that. This summer has gone insanely fast, but it's been so wonderful. And we're just a couple weeks away from back to school. If you're in that world, if you have little ones. For us, it's just under 3 weeks. If you're a Charleston County student, I think that you have around 2 weeks. And so summer is essentially gone in some sense. Now, if you're far removed from that world, I hope that you've enjoyed every day of summer, minus the really hot heat advisories that we had over the past week. It's been a lot of fun over here. We have spent a lot of time outside, a lot of time at the pool, and we actually visited the aquarium last week. So one thing that had me super excited, if you live in Charleston, you may have heard that at the South Carolina Aquarium, there are 2 roseate spoonbills. Now, if you don't know what those are, essentially they're just these really cool pink-toned marsh kind of birds, almost like an egret or a heron. And they thought at the aquarium that these 2 birds were female. Well, they miraculously had 3 babies. And so they don't know yet how this happened. They have 2 theories. One is that the DNA testing that they did on these birds was incorrect, which can happen, or that one of these birds just reproduced on their own, which can also happen but is extremely rare. So until these little baby roseate spoonbills are big enough to come down from their tree where they were birthed, they won't know. They won't be able to do any testing. So we visited the aquarium to check out these roseate spoonbills, and let me tell you something, they are getting so big already. I anticipated that they were like fairly small still, but the tour guide at the aquarium said that they are growing so fast and like doubling in size every other week. So I thought that was fascinating. And they're just really cool. A pink bird is not something you see all the time. And they're not as pink when they're born, but they're slowly turning brighter and brighter. And so that was a lot of fun. It was also Shark Week in July, and so we just had to visit. If you are not a member of the aquarium and you want information on that, please reach out. I'd be happy to help you. We have an annual membership and it's fantastic. We can bring ourselves, and then we can also bring guests free of charge with the membership that we have. And on top of that, the aquarium membership also provides you discounts at other places around Charleston. So I think it's a great value. If you have questions about it, let me know. We always have a lot of fun, and it's a great way to spend the afternoon somewhere else and just learn new things and see new things. And as an adult, I think it's just as good as if you're 3 years old. So we've done that, and then my little one's been at camp all summer. She's finishing up camp on Friday tomorrow. This is being filmed on a Thursday, and we are about to head off to Kentucky. I'm sure that a lot of you know because I've talked about it before, but I'm from Kentucky. That's where I was raised, and so we're taking a trip back home before school gets started just to visit family and get a little bluegrass in our blood, because there's nothing like being around your family and being where you're from. I'm from a small town, less than 100,000 people, and it's just really special. So I'm looking forward to that and introducing Hattie to all the Kentucky things. One of which, my favorite things, is burgoo, and she has tried before. But burgoo is a barbecue soup stew that we are known for in my hometown of Owensboro, which is considered the barbecue capital of the world. So if you've had burgoo, let me know. If you don't know what that is and you think I'm saying something kind of funny, also let me know, because I'd love to share more about it. The other thing I want to talk about is what's going on in the real estate world, because it is a hot topic. And it has been for a while, but I'm just hearing more and more questions, more and more conversations. Y'all, it is a very interesting time. There is a lot going on in the world. There is a lot going on in the economy, and there's a lot of uncertainty. People are wondering, when are these rates going to come down? You know, when is the affordability factor going to come about? And honestly, we don't have answers to those questions. But what I do know right now, if you are a seller specifically and your home is either on the market and sitting, or you're planning to go to market, what you need to understand is that buyers do not have any extra money. They are spending all their money just to afford that house or to have that down payment. Interest rates are still high, coupled with the prices. And so they're maxed out. They don't have money to put into a house that might need a new roof or a new HVAC or some major upgrades. So if you're a seller and your house is sitting and those things maybe haven't been tackled, that could be one of the big reasons why. Also, if you haven't yet listed, it is a perfect time to go ahead and knock out some of those projects. Let's have a call. Let's talk about what you need to do and spend your money wisely to get it ready for the market. buyers just don't have money to tackle these things if you're wanting to sell. Price is extremely important. We are seeing a lot of seller concessions, a lot of price negotiation. We are seeing buyers being able to negotiate thousands of dollars off purchase price if it's priced a little high and it's sitting. We're seeing sellers contribute to closing costs, to rate buy downs. And so this is a really great time if you're a buyer, because if and when rates drop, and again, we don't know if and when that will happen, but if they do and when they do, there will be a lot of pent up buyer demand that's just flooding the market. There are people waiting on the sidelines for when that happens. And what I'm trying to explain to buyers who are holding out is that you're in a better situation right now because you can actually negotiate with a seller. When the interest rates come down and there are more people in the market, you may not be able to do that because sellers will have a little bit more power. Inventory is still leaning to a very balanced market. We're not in a seller's market. We're not in a buyer's market. We're very much in between. But if inventory continues to climb into the fourth quarter, then we could see us be pushed into that buyer's market category. If you have questions, if you're thinking about buying or selling, no pressure. Let's just chat, because your situation is very different from the person who may be in a totally different area of town. And that's another thing. What we see happening in Charleston County may be very different than what we're seeing in Berkeley or Dorchester County. It's very much micro markets, and your neighborhood is very different than someone else's neighborhood. And so there are a lot of reasons why homes sell or don't sell. We would love to help you through the process. My goal is always to make you feel comfortable and to try to help you achieve what you set out to do. Now, again, we are not miracle workers. We can only guide you to the finish line, but you have to be willing to put in some of the work. And I think that now is a perfect opportunity to get some of the things done before you decide that you have to hit the market immediately. Anyway, I hope that your July has been amazing. I'm really looking forward to hearing how you're planning to spend your August. I know it's going to be a hot one, but there's a lot going on. Tax-free weekend starts this weekend, August 1st through the 3rd. So be sure to take advantage of that if you need any clothes, shoes, school supplies, computers, technology. It's a great opportunity in the state of South Carolina to get out and make some of those bigger purchases. So as always, I hope that you've had an amazing month, and I'm looking forward to sharing more with you as we enter a new one. Have a great and wonderful day.